to tell me. I'm still writing the same story. I know it's been a long time. Well, it hasn't. There's been a few days. But yeah, today I don't have much work to do otherwise, so I'm gonna be working on this. And I don't even know which paper to pick up because I don't know where I left this. I have the worst pimple on my chin. For anyone who might ask, yes, I write in silence a lot. Because it's not actually silent here. I hear the sounds of nature. Why are my lips so chapped? Okay. So I'm at about 8,000 words and I already have a huge list of stuff to fix. I think this is going to be the hardest editing process of anything that I've ever written. But yeah, I still need to finish it, so let's get to that. I'm not doing anything in a hurry anymore. I'm just enjoying what I'm writing, and that's enough, I guess. I want to go back here. This story is coming out so almost accidental because I started writing it on an impulse because I needed to tell this thing that had happened to me in a way that I didn't need to talk about it. I could like fictionalize it and create a fictional story about it. And now that I have, it's just there's so many other little pieces that I need to fit together. Okay. Like I've been paying so much attention to such specific things like characters, ways of speech, because this story has a lot of different characters and it is told in first person perspective, which means that it's biased. It's a biased perspective. You only see this world and this story and these events through the very biased perspective of the main character. So in order to be able to build characters who are authentic to themselves in this story that is being told by a very biased narrator, the only way to let this pass through is through the dialogue, through the words that these people actually say, and not the actions that the narrator perceives them to have. Oh, hello. So when I'm writing the speech, because there's a lot of dialogue in this story, I want there to be a lot of dialogue because that's the only way I can make the other characters shine through this narrator's biased perspective. No Instagram account. If you're going to be nasty in the comments, I will block you. So what I'm doing is I'm literally creating like manners of speech and specifically speech patterns for specific characters so that they are very distinguishable from one another and very distinguishable from the main character. So for example, there's this one character who is very stoic. It's a guy, I mean, everyone has met a version of this guy. He's very stoic. He doesn't show his emotions. It's just, he does his work, he manages his things, and then he goes home. He doesn't share many stories. He doesn't share about his private life. He just does his thing and just gets involved the least possible. So in the way that I'm writing is dialogue is very direct, very to the point, not flowery at all, not very judgmental, not very emotional, just quite direct. And this has been kind of one of the funnest parts of writing this story is working on these characters and kind of figuring out how I can use dialogue only to let their personalities shine through in this story that is being told by a very biased narrator because it's first person narration. So yeah, that's something I've been enjoying a lot, and I never thought I would because I never used to love writing dialogue, but I think that was coming from a very innocent part of my writer soul where I would just wanted to tell about my perspective, about the way I see things. But that's not really what a story is about. For a story to be true to what it's trying to tell, it needs to be able to transpire what every little character is trying to do in the story, regardless of whether the writer agrees with it or not. And that's kind of something I've been working through in this story, and I'm enjoying it very much. So that's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to write a part of the story that is mainly dialogue. It's one of the more dialogue heavy parts, and it's just, I hope that the contrast between the characters is very evident. I'm from Portugal. I'm hoping that the contrast between the characters is very evident in this one scene where we see three of them interacting in a very casual setting, which is a very big contrast to the only other setting we see them. And yeah, I just hope that the differences I built for these characters shine through in the dialogue, and that's what I'm going to be working on today. So yeah. Nothing. I just have my earphones on so that I guess I can talk to you. My writing corner is so cozy. I'm so proud of it. Sorry, my mom just came by. No, I'm not in Australia. I'm in Portugal. I know I don't look Portuguese. I look Polish, but, well. Not a book, a short story. No, I haven't, and I will not until that man decides to publish all the books. Because, you see, I know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to die before he actually finishes the goddamn books, and then someone else, Brandon Sanderson, perhaps, is going to have to finish the goddamn series. So, no, I will not read those books until they're all out. Because clearly he's not going to manage to finish it before he dies. And there's, that conspiracy theory that he doesn't want to finish them because the ending that we saw in the show is the actual ending of the books, and because no one liked it, he now doesn't want to write it. So, no, I have not read them, and I potentially will never read them because he will never finish the goddamn books. Actually, you wouldn't be able to tell it from my from this channel, but in my first channel that I first ever started, I this is to SA. I hope that doesn't mean what I think it means. To the edits channel. I used to do edits of Game of Thrones, well, House of the Dragon, but they're all deleted now because you can't monetize edits. Why is your name SA? I'm being so nasty to one of my characters, and it's so fun because he so deserves it. Does anyone get satisfaction from, you know, writing a character, building them up to be an asshole or to reveal themselves to be an asshole and then taking them down? Is it just me? Like a while ago, I wrote an entire story of just this, of presenting a person to be an asshole and then taking them down. Maybe that's a little bit sadistic of me, but I think it's okay if I'm taking it out on characters. I need to improve my I need to improve my like dialogue description. I don't know what to call this in English, but you know, like when you're writing dialogue and you have to do like someone says something and you have to write, oh, Mary said, or something like that. I need to improve that. I don't think it's good at all. And I do a lot of she said, he said, and stuff like that. And I feel like, especially for this one scene that I'm writing, where it's very dialogue heavy, I need to add a lot of little bits of information about the way these people deliver this what they say, about the way they say what they say, to kind of add a lot of meaning behind it. Because if it's just the words in themselves, it doesn't say much about the character. It does, because the way they say things is very particular to this specific character. But I also feel like I have like my descriptions while the dialogue is happening, I feel like they're very weak and I need to improve that. I think it's one of the things, actually, I'm gonna write it as a note for my edits, because I'm still kind of not editing. I'm still like doing different versions, drafts of the story. But yeah, I don't know what you call this, dialogue description. I need it to be better. I write so many times he said, she said, and I don't think it feels good when you read it. I think the only way to write this kind of stuff is to add specific actions or tones or just adjectives to the way that they're saying things to make it kind of come alive as a dialogue. And I don't think I'm that good at it. So I might need, to search tips on how to do that stuff. Oh, I'm also experimenting a lot with structure, because the story that I'm writing is like in parts. It's not like a full, complete story. It takes place over like months, like under a year, but definitely several months. And the whole point of the writing in sections divided by months is because to this main character, to this narrator, it feels like this is taking so long to pass. So like adding the um, the timestamps of where this character is at is kind of like another hammer in the idea, another hammer, another nail in the idea that it's taking so long to pass because it's such a hard thing for her to do. And because of this like weird structure, it kind of feels very predictable after a while. It feels like you're always going to have these little sections of how long she has to go before she finishes this. So then I, at one point, experiment with this structure and I insert a section that is very different from the other ones. And even the way the story is being told is different, the setting is different, the way the characters are acting is very different. So this is an entire section that is in contrast to the rest of the story, but if I can't make this goddamn dialogue work, it won't work for the rest of the story because it'll just feel like a completely different narration actually. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to teach myself how to write like description within dialogue to make the dialogue pop. If anyone has tips to the one person here too, let me know. Because I don't have any training in like writing or literature or whatever. The only education I have is like self-taught with reading and writing and listening to way too many Ishiguro interviews. But yeah, I feel like I'm struggling with this, struggling with the not the dialogue in itself. Like the lines that people that these characters say are okay. Like I'm okay with them. But the way that I describe the way they say them, I don't think is good enough. I guess I'm just gonna have to watch a tutorial on YouTube. No, I'm sure there must be some kind of online class for that kind of stuff. Anyway, on with the writing. Do you know what I'm gonna have to do? Actually, I know. I'm gonna have to, at a moment where I know that I'm alone and no one can hear me acting like a lunatic, I'm gonna have to sound out all of these lines because when I was writing them on paper, when I was doing like the first, second, third, fourth, fifth draft on paper, I sounded out these lines, but I didn't act them out that much. So I think that's gonna be the trick for me. I'm wondering if I should stop like writing the dialogue and if I should like attempt to act them out. Is this a weird thing? Is it weird to like when you're writing dialogue to act out dialogue to like not only say it out loud but say it with the right tone that you want your characters to say it um to act it out as if you were the character saying it to make sure that one the line that they are saying makes sense and to make sure that two the way you describe what they are saying actually makes sense to the way they want to say it because a lot of like in this specific scene and part of the story a lot of the meaning of the words that people are saying is like read between the lines is read with looks and with actions and with the way that they interact with their environment with the drinks they have with them with the way they look at other people and who they look at. So I'm thinking that the only way to make this dialogue work is going to be to actually add description to the dialogue and the way they say these lines that kind of tells the hidden meaning between the words because a lot of it is like that. And I mean, that's the most interesting type of dialogue you see, isn't it? When they're saying something and they mean something else and it's like a sword fight the whole time. Mm. No, I'm gonna write it out. I'm gonna write out the entire dialogue of this scene and then I'm going to act it out, like to read it out loud and just say it exactly as these characters want to say them and see what I can change and if it makes sense. Yeah, okay. Thank you for helping or for listening, I guess. The way that I just talk to myself and make my own decisions. like a mad person speaking out loud. At least if I have a camera in front of me and I'm speaking out loud, I'm not speaking to myself and I'm not that mad. Yeah, let's go with that. All right, everyone, that's it for today. I will probably continue writing, but just on my own. I need to sound out these lines to make sure that the dialogue is like as I want it to be, and I'm not gonna do it in front of you. I'm gonna do it by myself. So I'll see you later. Where do I turn this off? Oh, it's here.